Okay, welcome back. And our guest this time is Honorable Philip Agbese. Honorable Philip Agbese is the Deputy Spokesman at the House of Representatives. He's joining us now remotely. A fine morning to you, Honorable Agbese.
Thank you, Uncle Yori. How is Lagos?
Very well, thank you for calling, for making time for us this morning, sir. This whole TET fund intervention seems to have, caused a ruckus. On the one hand, VCs, rectors, provosts, and all those university administrators are accusing the House of Reps of, quite frankly, they've gone as far as extortion in the way and overbearing tendencies in the way they are going about their legitimate business of oversight. I have seen publications where the House of Reps has categorically rejected all such accusations. So, Honorable Agbese, what do you think? What is this? Why are we at this stage? It has been called by people from your side a sponsored smear campaign. But tell us, how did this whole imbroglio come about?
Well, Uncle Yori, thank you very much. We in the People's House, under the leadership of Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, like Nigerians are aware, the Right Honorable Speaker also came in from the academia to be in Parliament. We have respect for the University Vice Chancellors, the Rectors, and the Provosts, and we strongly believe that this allegation is coming from a few bad eggs amongst them. You recall countless times that some of these administrators of high institutions have equally been accused of serious crimes like rape, forgery, extortion of students, and even those who participate in electoral activities, serious cases of rigging and connivance with dubious politicians to shortchange the system. We know these bad eggs are in that area, and as a matter of fact, they can go to any length, to blackmail any institution. They've had these issues with governing council chairmen and board members in the past, where if you try to ask them questions, the bad eggs amongst them, you ask them questions on their stewardship. They don't give direct answers. All they do is to see how to engage in campaign of calumny against the governing council. And like the Parliament, we have not been spared for some of these dubious acts by some few, a very few disgruntled elements in our society. So for us in the People's House, we are focused. The committee is going to carry out its duties, its roles and responsibilities as enshrined in the Constitution. We derive our powers from Section 89 and 88 of the 1999 Constitution. And that's exactly what our people have elected us to do. The exercise that took place on February 25th, 2003 by majority of Nigerians across the country who expressed their overwhelming confidence in the very people who are in the Parliament today. No individual or group of persons can be wiser than that decision. And by virtue of that decision, Nigerians have voted us as very credible, honest, reliable, and trustworthy Nigerians, to be in this business of lawmaking, oversighting, and providing us, to support the growth and development of our country. So as far as we are concerned in the Parliament, that allegation is just a means of distracting the Parliament. We are not bothered about it because we believe that at a time like this that we're operating open governance, Nigerians have a lot of confidence in this current Parliament under the leadership of His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas and our leader, the Chairman of the National Assembly, distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio. From the encouragement that we have received from Nigerians, their participation in the affairs of Parliament, and everything so far so good. I think the Parliament will not be distracted by that allegation. Let me also add that when this issue was raised, even one of our ad hoc committee that was involved in that issue of investigating TET fund or job racketeering, we wrote to the ICPC to investigate the committee. That investigation is ongoing. The university vice chancellors, they have disowned their own. They have disowned this allegation. They have refused to come out, to point at any honorable. In the first instance, they said account number were provided by parliamentarians at the course of that engagement. None has been tendered before the ICPC. And at the time that the ICPC is about to conclude its investigation on the matter, we now saw another publication again. For us in the People's Parliament, under the leadership of Right Honorable Agbese, we want to remain focused on our core principles, the legislative agenda of the House, which has open parliament, transparency, accountability, and even strict oversight as part of our agenda. So that is our focus for now, sir.
Okay. Well, this latest outcry has sort of erupted over the plan to implement the 2024 approved normal intervention projects of the TET fund in federal and state institutions. Now, as you know, as everybody knows, these higher institutions tend to be, they want to vigorously sort of guard their, well, is it independence, so to speak? And so they say there's undue interference going beyond what you've just spoken about, the way they see it.
No,
I wanted to ask, are you operating under any sort of guidelines that are known to both parties? You have your rights because oversight cannot be compromised, but
yes,
you said they made that what is going on is beyond that.
No, the university vice chancellors made reference to Section 7, subsection 5 of the TET Act. And I think they are claiming that the law did not explicitly state that the National Assembly should oversight them. But again, if you read that section of the TET Act in line with Section 80 of the 1999 Constitution, it expressly stated that every fund, except the consolidation account, that every money that will be spent by any procurement entity in the country must be appropriated by the National Assembly. Again, we also have the right under Section 88 and 89 of the Constitution to oversight, procurement entities that are spending, taxpayers' money. That is one of the one of the roles of the Parliament, to oversight, to ensure that there's accountability and transparency. And there's a popular saying that an innocent man fears no accusation. There is nothing wrong if a committee of the National Assembly decides to invite you, particularly for a joint committee, because the invitation was sent to them by a joint committee of both the Senate and the House of Representatives, for the university vice chancellors to come before them and justify what they are doing. There's nothing wrong. And let us make it very clear that the universities, colleges of education and polytechnics in the country do not constitute up to 10% of the procurement entities in this country. So how comes that it is only this group, that is raising alarm over the activities of the National Assembly? We are supervising even other revenue generating agencies, like the customs. We are supervising and oversighting the security agencies. And every day we invite highly placed people, very busy people, like the service chiefs. They come to the Parliament to explain their strategies, their role. Issues that are very, very sensitive, like security, we invite them and they honor us. I want to put it very clear that the university autonomy does not in any way stop the university vice chancellors or polytechnic heads, from explaining how taxpayers' money is being spent, under their care.
All right. I understand. Yes. I hear you. Easy in Yenagoa. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yeri.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, today's topic is very interesting, particularly the one that the governors went to Abuja to go and meet the president on a meeting with respect to security issues, and the meeting culminated in the need for a state police. Yes. Uncle Yeri, you agree with me that issues of state police have long been overflowed in this country?
Yes, sir.
For so many
I beg your pardon. Easy.
Coming to power will campaign with state police.
Easy.
How can you get in there?
Easy. Sorry. As you know, that was in the first half of the program, and we've since left there and are looking at a separate subject with a guest in place. I don't know if you are equally interested in this particular topic, the TET fund intervention, where, There have been accusations against the House of Representatives that in the pursuit of their oversight functions, they are overstepping their bounds. And my guest, who is the Deputy Spokesman, House of Reps, has been explaining that there is no such thing at all, and that they just are doing their job. Well, Easy has left us, I believe. So I'm so sorry about that, Easy, who called in from Yenogua, but that subject has gone, and it's going to be, it sort of breaks the flow of this particular one. All right, to return to what you were what you were talking about, going back to the TET Fund intervention. So when it is reported that some people from those institutions were complaining that we've been asked to come with Ghana must go bags of documents, and then haven't used that particular expression, Ghana must go, but of documents, and also outrightly asking for cola, so to speak. You are saying that that idea is ludicrous, right? That seems to be what you're saying?
You see, two things you mentioned there, cola and Ghana must go. On a very
Ghana must go bagfuls of documents is the way it was explained.
Yes, you see. Yes, you see.
And they were wondering, can they even read it? Do they read these documents?
No, that is the assumption of people outside the parliament. You see, committees are allowed to engage the services of consultants to scrutinize documents. Again, beyond that, people just have this assumption that members of the parliament are lazy people who are coming from the village or politicians, in Babariga, who do not have time to study. But that is not correct. From my experience and interaction with my colleagues so far, since I joined the National Assembly, as somebody coming from the civil society, that perception has since changed. Majority of the committees that have interacted with my colleagues have seen very sound people. I give you a very good example. Let us take it from the leadership, where we have a PhD holder leading the parliament in the House of Representatives. The Deputy Speaker, we have all listened to his presentations, when he's presiding over the affairs of the House. Just recently, we debated this issue of educational qualification. I can tell you that in this parliament, we even have professors who are better, than some of the university vice chancellors. So it is not your responsibility when documents have been given to you to now tell you how to study the document. If we study this document and we find any infraction, that is our job. It is our duty, to invite them for clarifications. So you will not say because you submitted Ghana must goes of documents some time ago. After that time, there have also been other series of payments and receipts, from the Federation account. And you see, we cannot totally exonerate the TET fund from what is going on from this controversy. Some Nigerians have even pointed at accusing figures at the TET fund to be behind some of these allegations. And we are investigating all of that. But you see, what is important for us is moving this country forward. As a parliament that is in partnership with the executive, we want to see Mr. President succeed. And if these kind of people are back again in the system, to constitute themselves to clog the wheels of progress, we'll advise Mr. President rightly. University vice chancellors, many of them, they are skeletons in their court. Many of them have been accused of raping our children. Some of them even have cases in court. And we have not asked that the constitution or the university act should be suspended just because these bad eggs are there. So for us in the parliament, it is important. There must be soul searching. There must be housekeeping. And we have done our best as a parliament, to ensure that committees that embark on oversight function are also closely scrutinized and monitored to ensure that we don't have this kind of negative media. You will agree with me that since Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas assumed the leadership of this parliament, Nigerians have seen the highest level of accountability from the parliament. Nigerians have seen the highest level of transparency. We conduct our businesses in the open and ensure that every single penny, that comes to the parliament is properly accounted for. That is leadership by example. We expect the university vice chancellors, the heads of these institutions who are supposed to be models to our children, to come clean on some of these issues. If funds have been allocated through TET fund, for you to provide certain services in the university, we see no reason why you should not do that. So when you are asked to do the right thing, just jumping to the media and using, some nefarious platforms to plant stories against the National Assembly. I think it is unpatriotic. It is unacceptable. I will be having these issues. You can see that with the advent of social media today, they banded all manner of stories against highly placed individuals just to scandalize the institution of the parliament. And we're saying no to that.
Okay. All right then, Honorable Philip Agbese. Now, as deputy spokesman of the House of Representatives, let me ask you for your impressions on a question about I think it's a parliamentary system of government being canvassed, and reportedly it has passed even the first reading. What can you tell us about that whole quote-unquote movement? It is said that this presidential system is far too expensive. You know all the arguments. So what can you tell us about moves within the Assembly, within the National Assembly, to get us to go back to the parliamentary system of governance?
Yes, one, the beauty of democracy is the ability for individuals, groups to be able to canvass their opinions, and for a responsible parliament like the 10th Assembly is to be able to galvanize, harness this opinion, and put them into actionable process in the overall interest of our country. A group of honorable members, about 16 of them have come together to say we have a better suggestion as how to run this country properly. It is their right, it is their duty to do that. We must give it to them that there are people who are equally thinking outside the box. We are being confronted with all manner of problems, all manner of challenges in the country, and people, elected representatives of the people, are eager, to see a better country, a better society for the poor masses of our country. And that bill has passed through the second reading. It will now go into the process of a committee engagement where we have the public hearing and civil society, members of the public, in line with our legislative agenda, to operate in an open parliament, that people will come and make their contributions. So at this point, it is not left to Nigerians and people who believe in what these distinguished honorable members, are doing, to now attend and speak for it. It will also give room, for those who do not believe in that system of government, to now approach the parliament on the right date, time, and venue, to speak for it. And I believe that as a listening parliament, as a people's parliament, one that is committed to the welfare of the masses under the leadership of Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, at the end of the day, we'll be able to assemble the opinions of Nigeria and come up with, a final position. So if the bill scales through the third hearing and eventually it gets presidential asset, that is the new way we're going to find ourselves. And if it doesn't get there, now if Nigerians feel that no, that is not the best for the country, and they express themselves, we believe that the committee saddled with that responsibility will come to the court.
We're going to have to leave it here, yes. Honorable Philip Agbese, and I want to thank you very much for making the time for us. Philip Agbese is Deputy Spokesman in the House of Representatives. Thank you very much. That's our program today. We're going to have to leave it here for now. Please join us on Monday for a fresh edition.